What's coming off around here?
If you guys playing railroad anymore today, there's a landslide, a new cut.
Hi, welcome to my channel, Fun with HO Scale Stuff. Stuff being all the many different things I plan on working on. This is part 4 of repairing an Athearn SW7 switcher. At the beginning of the effort to repair and make operable this SW7 switcher, I did mention that this thing, I acquired it back in around 1995. So you could do the math, it's pretty old. And the person that had it before me had it for a number of years as well. So it's even older than what I know. And it may or may not have worked when I received it. So the point of the whole episode is to finish up with the repair of the model and try to make it run again. So at this point now, the model has had a number of changes, and among that, we repaired the motor. I reworked the side trucks twice because I did it wrong the first time. And I reviewed all of the contacts, all the metal contacts, to make sure that they were making full contact and weren't opening up while the thing was being handled. That left me with still a few little glitches that I intend to iron out and try to make it a smooth running locomotive. But there's some things that are going to be difficult to fix. So we'll go through, I'll detail all the different steps that I need to do and the things that I've already done. And I'll culminate with an explanation that this is repairable and it can be returned to service. So I'll just give a quick demonstration at this point. I have my trusty power supply, and we'll see if I can get that to work. I'll turn the power on and apply some voltage, and the track is horrible, but it does run. There you see it. Now, this track is also part of the track that I acquired when I assisted my friend to dismantle his HO scale railroad so that he could sell his house back in around 1995. So this track, that locomotive, it's all been in storage since. I never touched it. And the track is filthy. I've rubbed this. You can see where I just simply rubbed this rubber eraser over the track, and every time I do it, I pick up more goober. It's just amazing how dirty that track is. So the fact that it's running right now, I did hit it with a little bit of this bright pad just to see if I could get that a little bit more conductive, but that track is in bad shape as well. So more on the locomotive. Well, among the other things I've checked and corrected on the locomotive's chassis and side frames and metallic conductors and motor, not to least of all the motor mounts. This locomotive's wheels are a shame. And that's like looking at them, I see here in this image close up, this wheel has pits and flat spots on it, and it's corroded and it's cruddy, unbelievable mess. Well, the history of these wheels is that Athearn had made their original wheels from a sintering process. It's sintered iron. It's known in the hobby to cause poor electrical pickup and sparking. And not only that, Athearn had put 42-inch scale wheels on that locomotive, and in fact, the SW7 prototype had 40-inch wheels. So I did find replacement wheels on JB wheel sets that are 40-inch, and they're made with nickel silver rather than sintered. If some of you may be familiar with the old JB company, it was JAYBEE, and that company went out of business, but there was another company formed that uses the same tooling to manufacture their wheel sets, and they seem to look very promising to me. Now, I can't say for sure that I'm going to replace these wheels on this locomotive. There's other things that are wrong with it. Yeah, so continuing with the list of things that are issues with this locomotive, I wanted to point out that on this truck here, that if you push up on it, you have to notice that it does not contact the frame. It's got enough of a secure fit in this portion to keep the truck limited, so that even though it goes up, it doesn't touch the frame. However, on this truck, the fit is too sloppy, and it'll go right on up and it will just contact that frame. So this truck was causing me grief because it was arcing. Well, I was handling it, but I mean, it shouldn't be able to do that, obviously. It should be like this truck. So that's an issue, and I'm not really sure what can be done about it. It just fits loose. So I'll keep that in mind, and maybe in the future I'll think of something. But for now, that's just going to be the nature of it. And as long as it's riding flat and level on the track, it does okay. So the next thing I wanted to point out has to do with the shell itself. And with the shell, this shell has apparently been handled by the former owner in that I believe he took parts off of it because they're just missing. The first one I noticed is that there's no horn, and there should be a horn here. There's a hole where the horn would mount, but the horn is simply not there. The other thing is all of the grab irons on the back of the locomotive and the grab irons at the front of the locomotive are all missing. So that I'd have to, if I wish to bring this locomotive up to at least a modicum of realistic appearance, it really would need those grab irons. And the other thing that I would like it to have are the air hoses. There's no air hoses at all. And I think I mentioned it before. I do not like these horn hook couplers. I've got some KDs and I can replace that. And when that's easy to replace. So these are the list of things that still remain with this locomotive to really bring it back to its original glory and maybe even make it better. But it would be kind of a fun project on this locomotive to bring it up to a much better detail by replacing parts on it with detailed parts, and also getting rid of this DC motor control and adding DCC to it. But that's not part of this program right now. That would be a future project. So I have to conclude all of this effort, and having made this locomotive operable again, I believe I'll petition Dan Thorne for a raise. So I'm going to give him a ring and see if he's amenable to giving me a raise once I deliver this back to the shop. Yeah, Dan ought to give me a good raise for getting this thing to run. Oh yeah, look at this. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah. Oh, 1478 never ran so well. Look at that. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I should get a raise. I should get a raise. I'm going to call Dan right now. Hi, Dan. This is John. Yeah, I got, look at number 1478. You know how it wasn't running, and I got it running again, Dan. So, yeah, it's going to go back to the shop. It's all fixed up. Might need a little bit of lubrication yet, but hey, I got that running. So how about a raise, Dan?
No!
Well, I think he hung up. Oh, I guess I'm not getting a raise. Oh, well. Well, the next thing I want to do for my hobby is to build a bench work. On the bench work, I believe I'm just going to use a flat surface with foam on top of plywood. And I think I'm going to make it about somewhere between 4 and 5 feet. I've got to do a little thinking about the height and all, and I got to go buy some lumber. But that's the plan. So tune in next time. Thank you for viewing. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. And thank you for watching, guys.